Hi, everybody. Welcome to our little slice of heaven. I've been streaming a lot lately, but it's Friday night. I wanted to see everybody. And to be honest, I am super, super excited for tonight. It's Friday night. I don't know where you are in the country, in the world, in the universe, but it's going to be fun. We're going to have a little fun. We might have another guest come on, but we're going to start with the better half of what's planned. So, yeah, we are here to talk a little bounty hunting, a little treasure. I went out and found something really awesome that I'm really excited to share. And then off to the graders it goes because I need to get this thing looked at. I am super, super, super excited about this. I can't tell you guys how excited I am. So tonight, with any further ado, I am going to bring in my expert for the evening. None other than you.
Me?
Yeah,
What are we? Are we talking about pies, cakes,
and all of yes to everything. I love it.
pie eating contest? I'm your man.
How is it, man? It's Friday night. I'm sure you're excited for the weekend.
I'm definitely excited for the weekend.
Good.
Man, I saw the funniest meme for school teachers. It said earlier in your career, and it showed a bunch of people like celebrating running through doors, and then it says later in your career, and you're like,
Yeah,
you've been through the war, man.
Yeah.
That's what my week was like. So
Good. Well, I
tonight,
hope
this is for
right.
you.
Yes, I hope it starts it off right. I'm excited to have you here.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited.
You
and I pushed it out. I pushed it out. I promoted it. Let's get people here, everybody.
No, I'm excited. I'm excited more to talk about this little treasure that I found because I don't know if but I like you. I bounty hunt. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm always on the hunt. If I find something of value and something that hits me at home, I'm all about it.
Yeah.
I didn't actually find this one. My better half found this one. She tends to keep me apprised to a lot of the stuff I'm not looking for, the places I'm not looking. And she just came across this treasure and we bid on it and we won it. And I'm looking forward to sending it off to get graded because this might be one of the staples of my collection. I'm already a huge fan of the character. I'm already I've got other stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But this might be just the one. So I'm super excited to get your opinion about it. We talked about it via text a little bit, and I've talked to a couple other people about it, but I don't know. I don't even care if it's worth what I paid for it. I'm excited just to have it. So
even if it's not, it will be one day.
Yeah, I mean, I'm honestly, they're not making any more.
That's
number
right.
One.
Exactly.
So I'm excited to get it graded and then get a box to keep it safe in, because I'm excited.
So when you're talking toys like that, when you have a sentimental attachment to a piece, there's the money doesn't matter at that point.
No.
The money. So I am in the beginning stages of getting back into the toy hunting.
Right.
And
well, and give people some background, because if anybody's been living under a rock in the Star Wars community and doesn't know who you are and what you've done, give us a little background into your toy experience. Just a taste, just a
I don't even talk about it very much. And it's like so much of our EBN family, they don't know that part of me.
I know. That's
because we don't go there much.
I know. That's why I'm excited to have you here, because most people don't know your expertise, and I do, because I've been listening.
Don't. Yeah, because we just don't go there much. And so I was into the toys for years, and I'm still into them. I'm still into them. It's never going to stop.
No.
But I just don't have, I just don't have the goods right now, but I'm going to get them. I've done this before. I mean, I'm going to get them.
Right.
So how long do I have to tell this story?
You got as long as you want.
Okay.
Lay it on.
All right. Let me.
Because like I said, you don't get into this much. And if a lot of your fans end up coming here to check this out, I want them to know, because you guys don't get into this stuff very much.
You just brought me home, is what you just did.
I
So,
love it. I love it. And start
all
the
right.
weekend. I want you to be happy talking about it. This is a good way
Yeah.
to just shed all that other crap off of you and just talk about
Yeah.
what you love.
So, I grew up with the toys, and when I'm talking about the toys, I'm talking about the Kenner Star Wars 1977 through 1985 run.
Yep.
There are 96 different figures, and when I was a child, they were by far my favorite. Yeah, I had GI Joes and I had Transformers and I had all this other stuff, but it was always my Star Wars toys that meant the most to me. And then I hit about 11 years old. I start playing sports and I start liking girls and all this stuff. And then I meet this kid, this snotty-nosed little brat punk named Nick. And we didn't like each other at all. And then I saw him reading a Star Wars book one day and I'm like, "Hey dude, you like Star Wars?" And he was like, "Dude, I freaking love it." Like just like he would say today. Exactly what he would say today.
Yep.
And we became friends right there. Well, the first time I went over to his house, we started talking about Star Wars toys. And he drug out a lot of his old Kenner toys. And I'm sitting there like, now at that time, it had only been 2 or 3 years since I had still been playing with mine, but it felt like an eternity when you're 11 or 13, And
Yeah.
so then we go over to my house and we pull all my Star Wars toys out. And before you know, me and Nick are 13, 14 years old. We're having battles again with our toys.
Yes.
And then we get to high school. And then, we stop playing with our toys. When we get to high school, we're not playing with the toys anymore. That stopped in middle school.
Right.
But then, here we go. It became an obsession.
That's it.
We started collecting. And that was just as much fun, if not more fun, than playing with them as a child.
Yeah.
That's how I got to maintain that passion. So we start collecting, and then every Christmas, Nick and I would exchange an original Kenner Star Wars piece. Like that, it was a foregone conclusion.
That's amazing.
So we're building our collections, and I had a complete collection. Nick had a complete collection. We had every figure and all this, and we kept collecting. We started buying ships. We started buying MOCs, mint on card, which is what we're going to get into a little bit, I think.
Mhm.
We started buying mocks, unopened original figures, and we're just getting this huge collection going. And anyways, when I was in high school or college or whatever, I sold my collection or something like that. Then I started again. Me and Nick took a road trip from Alabama all the way up to Cincinnati, Ohio when we were 19 to go visit the Earth Collectible Toy Mall.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, that's the only reason we went there. We drove all the way up to Cincinnati. We stayed in Dayton, Ohio with Nick's uncle for the entire weekend. And you walked into this Star Wars shop, this toy shop, and the entire wall, it was wall to wall original unopened Star Wars toys. I just walked into a time capsule.
Oh my God.
And I had never seen anything like it before. Well, not since I was like 5.
Speaking of time capsule.
Hey!
Please continue.
You didn't tell me my bully was going to be here.
I know, that's why I didn't.
I love you, little brother. I'm just trying to bring out the best in you. That's all.
I love you too, man.
So, the Earth Collectible Toy Mall. So,
Yep,
anyways, you graduate college, you start your career, you meet the girl, you get married, you have a child. All this stuff happens like bang, 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 so fast.
Life.
Yeah. So I am exactly. So I am at our house, and I'm probably, I'm gonna say this is 2005. This is 2005.
That's a good time.
About 17 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
Holy crap!
Right?
It's really been that
Yeah.
long. All right. So
Goes by fast.
17 years ago, and one day it just happened. I go into the garage and I pull out my plastic bin and I start going through the toys, and it just grabbed me again. after years of being lost as the basketball coach and the husband and all this stuff, it just grabbed me instantly. And I picked up the phone and I called Nick and I said, dude, you still got your toys? And when I said your toys, he knew exactly what I was talking about. I wasn't talking about X-Men. I wasn't talking about Batman. I wasn't talking about GI. When I say the toys, he knows what I'm talking about.
Chewy.
And he was exactly. So he was like, yeah, I still got them. And I was like, dude, check this out. And I was like, I'm sitting here looking at my collection. I got them all spread out on my office desk. And I'm like, I'm going to finish my collection. I got about 12, 13 figures to go, and I'm going to finish my collection. Well, here's the problem at that time. My wife had resigned her job and was staying at home with our children. For 5 years, she didn't work, and we are living in 2005 on my teacher's salary, and I just took a pay cut to go to a high school and coach basketball.
That's not conducive to
collect.
Not a whole bunch of spare change.
I'm making about 47 a year.
Right.
Okay. At
There's
that
nothing
time.
wrong with that.
No. Yeah. But
not with a family.
But X-Wing, I got a wife and 2 kids and a mortgage.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah.
So I'm not even making this up, guys. I would have to call her and say, hey, honey, can I buy a Dr. Pepper?
Yeah.
like that's how tight we were. So I started watching on eBay and I'm like, I want that, but I can't buy it. I want that, but I can't buy it. I want that, but I can't buy it. It was just never ending and it was driving me crazy. So I had a conversation with Nick and I was like, I've been watching this stuff on eBay. I've been watching how this goes. And I said, and I'm going to do something crazy, bro. And he said, what? I said, I'm going to sell my entire collection. And he's like, what? I said, check it out. Here's what I'm going to do. I said, I'm going to list every Star Wars action figure that I have. And I'm going to start every auction at 99 cents with no reserve.
You are a bold one.
Yeah, I rolled the dice, baby. Nick thought I was crazy.
You were.
And so what happened, and I knew it was going to happen because I sat there and watched. But when it's your toys on the line, you get nervous. When you put a beautiful Princess Leia out there, complete 1977, that's pristine, and it's 99 cents with no reserve, and you advertise it as such, it creates an incredible amount of competition.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And these people watch it for 7 straight days. And what happens in the final minute of that auction, the snipers come out.
Oh my God.
Oh, yeah.
And my heart is pumping, man. It's like gambling.
Yeah.
And
but you're on the other side of it because you're the house. That's the weird part. You're the house sweating.
That's exactly right. So I'm watching. So I sold my entire collection in one night like that. And in 2005, with an incomplete collection, I made over $4,000, which I was very happy with that.
Were they loose?
They were loose, all complete,
Wow.
all C9-ish. So it
Loose
hurt to
9?
do that. It hurt to do that, but I had a plan. So I took my $4,000 that I had gotten, and I started buying MOCs, unopened original figures. And I would go find somebody that's selling 5. I would buy all 5 of them, keep 2, sell 3. I would make profit.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm obtaining a collection. I did that. I flipped my way in a couple of years to having a full run of all 96 figures original mint on card.
Did you ever get burned on any of the figures that you bought?
No. You mean like I bought a fake?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I got my refund. Yeah, there was a guy
nice.
in Europe. It was too good to be true, but I'm like, hell, I'm buying it because I could always get it's money back guaranteed.
Right.
So yeah, it came in and they were absolute repros. But I got a trained eye for that too over time. You know, I can look now and I'm like, nope. Now I can see it, you know. And I feel obsession. I really feel like I'm talking too much. I've never.
No, this is why you're here. No, you are not. This is exactly why you're here.
Well,
Shut
I
me
was gonna
down.
say, but I mean, okay.
Go
if you
ahead.
keep
Go
going,
ahead.
I
Don't
guess
listen
keep
to this
letting him go. I
jabroni.
guess. Yeah, that's fine.
I'm sorry. You can break in any moment.
No, please get into it. Go ahead and please tell us the whole story because I love it. I can't hear it enough. And
And this is super good for guys like me who collect, but they don't go to the high level stuff. This is an educational experience for me. You know?
Well, see, that's how I got to the high level stuff. It was the only way that I could. I had to do it. I had to be smarter because I didn't have the buying power. You know what I mean?
Loves it. Yeah, keep going. Tell us.
So, I would buy and flip, and then I would find somebody that had like this massive collection, and I'd be like, look, I can't buy it all right now, but if you will let me make payments, you could send me whichever ones you want. I am telling you, I'm going to buy them all. So, anyways, over time, I began getting a reputation as a seller. And I never even meant I was selling as a means to acquire my collection, not to make money. It was never about making money. It was about acquiring what I wanted.
Right. And not having to spend money to do it, right?
Oh, exactly. It didn't cost me a penny. It only cost me my time.
That's
that's the fun part. The hunt is the fun part.
Yes.
The hunt is the fun part. So anyways, I'm flipping and I'm buying and I'm flipping and I'm buying. And then I would come across a collection and then I started getting loose figures and all that. We moved, we bought this house. And anyways, I had a collection. My wife went back to work. Things weren't as crazy, but I still never spent my teacher salary money on any Star Wars toys ever. I never have, and I never will.
You're a better man than me.
Well, but that's where all the buying and selling came into play. And then I was like, well, I'm going to open up a business that will help me do that too, and start selling disc golf stuff and everything else. So one night I found a collection and my wife and I had multiple big arguments over time. Because sometimes I'd be like, hey, honey, can I have $2,000? Because if you give me $2,000, this is $10,000 worth of Star Wars stuff. And
my fiance would flip every gasket she's got in her body would just.
My wife did. My wife, I lost every battle. So I would go like to my mom, be like, "Hey, mom." So and she did. My mom always said, "Yeah, honey, here you go." And I'm like, "I'll pay you back," and I always did. I always did. Sometimes with interest, because the deals were just so good to be true, too good to be true. In 2005 through 2012, I would say, collections were still out there. You could still go get a lot of vintage stuff. It wasn't breaking the bank. But when The Force Awakens came out, everything changed.
Yeah.
Everything changed. And it's harder right now than ever before, but it still only takes patience. That's it. You have to look, and there are tricks to looking, and there's best practices for looking, and I'm happy to share any and all that with anybody.
Best practice number one is you got to hit the books every single morning.
Yeah.
If it's
You got to be on
there
hunt
for a minute, it's not a good deal.
Oh no, you're exactly right. There's too many sharks in the water that if it's been out there, it's you have to find a tired seller if it's been out there a long time and he's just ready to give up. So anyways, one night, guys, I I found a seller on eBay. And I could kind of tell by his post, I'm not sure. This is not a typical Star Wars seller. That's what I could tell. I could tell he was a muggle.
Yep.
Okay.
Gotta love the muggles.
So, but he was an older guy. So I reached out to him and he was like, hey, yeah, I actually have like 80 of these. And I was like, you have 80? 80?
What was
and I
it?
think it was like the figure, I think it was a Princess Leia Hoth from Empire Strikes Back, unopened in the package. So I'm like, I'm really interested in this figure. If you have any more, kind of thing. And he was like, yeah, I got 80. And I was like, sir, I'll buy them all. So I was able to buy, and I asked him, to give me I asked him to give me his price, and he said, I'll tell you what, he said, I'll sell you my entire collection for 10,000. And I thought, shit, I ain't got $10,000. But if I sell some of my pieces, I'll have it. So I did. I came home and I told the man, I said, if you'll hang on for 2 weeks, I'll have you your money. I'll pay you in full. And he says, I'll do it. So I came home. I'm trusting that he's going to be okay. Hang on to that for me. And he did. So I sold. His name's David Mellon. Great guy from Michigan. We're friends today. So I buy his collection, sold a lot of my pieces, bought his. Then, guys, I find the mother lode of all collections. There's an elderly gentleman in Vermont that had this collection, and he had his niece pull out her phone, and she's live. She turns her camera on, and she's showing me his basement. It's all vintage Star Wars. And I'm like, I'd like to buy the whole thing, but I'm a school teacher. And I was like, how much do you want? And he said, make me an offer. And I was like, oh my gosh, guys, I hate to tell you, I knew I was looking at a 6-figure collection. Yeah. I knew it was.
You told him 10, and you're like, take it or leave it.
Well, I said 15. I said, I'll
you dirty old man.
Yeah, I did. I told him I'll do 15, and he said, Coach, I've actually had that offer before. That's a little too low for me. I said, well, hold on. I said, I'm not out of the game. I said, tell me what it'll take. And he said, I'll sell it off. I'll let it all go for 22. And I said, I'll have your money next weekend.
Yeah, done.
And he said, okay. So I listed my entire MOC run collection because I was going to be damn sure I had the money. So me and my wife sat on our living room couch Sunday night as every auction was ending. They ended like every 45 seconds. I made $27,000 that night. So the next day, I send the man his $22,000 PayPal goods and services, and he loaded the collection up on an 18-wheeler and had it shipped to me. We've actually got the unboxing video on YouTube. You could watch. Yes. It's like an hour and a half.
Did you get everything back that you lost when it came to the figures themselves, the lines, when you bought that collection?
Oh yeah, and so much more.
Oh, so it was absolutely an upturn.
Oh, 100%, 100%. So when I got done with this gentleman's collection, I had like 160 unopened figures. My office here in this room, it used to be nothing but Star Wars toys everywhere, and I had a little computer in the middle of the office, and
I don't know anything about that.
Yeah. So, and I actually started getting claustrophobic sitting in here. Like, it was just too much. But anyways, that's kind of the story. The past few years, I kind of started letting things go, and I started moving more towards the YouTube and having the channel and getting more serious about that. And once I got more serious about YouTube and that became a passion, then I didn't have room for the Star Wars passion at that time. Not while I was in building mode, trying to learn broadcasting, trying to learn thumbnails, trying to learn how to do a live stream and all of these things. Well, now I'm in a groove. I'm in a place where I can start going back to that now. So my goal is to save enough money to go buy a TerraVault. You guys look that up. It is they cost about $2,000 minimum, but all it is a smart display case. And it's incredible. It comes with LED lighting and all this stuff. And I will one day have
You've been talking about that for a minute, dude.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I'm going to have it right there. The bookshelf is going to be gone. And I'm only going to put things in the TerraVault that I'm keeping forever. Like, a lot of stuff that's on that bookshelf is just for aesthetics.
Right.
The things that's going in the vault is never coming out. and I'll never get rid of. So I am going to be back to collecting. I have already started looking, and I've created a couple of possibilities as well. So, anyways, I'm probably leaving all kinds of stuff out. Me and Nick went to the ICCC convention the first year that they had it, and I walked up to people and I shook their hands and I introduced myself, and I told them my name. I told them Eddie Groves. That's my name, Eddie Groves. And some of them looked at me funny, guys, and they were like, "Coach Groves?" They knew me. That was my seller account name. On eBay.
Oh, hilarious.
I'm Coach Groves. And everybody just called me Coach. So when we moved over to Echo Base Network, me and Nick's like, everybody's gonna call me Nick. And he's like, what are they gonna call you, Coach? Because the toy people already did. And I happen to be a 20-year veteran basketball coach. So I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna go with Coach. And anyways, it's so funny seeing people that I knew at the convention that I had done so many deals with, and they were like, "Oh my gosh!" Like they're taking pictures of me, like I'm somebody. It was so funny. But
that's
anyways,
a way better origin story name than my YouTube name. Way better.
No,
I was like, "What do I like?" X-wings.
I like tacos.
I still remember when Josh Lucas from Den of Nerds was like, "How did you get X-wing?" I was like, "I just typed it into YouTube and it worked." The Force wills it.
Well, that's the story, man, and I'm sticking to it.
That is a great story.
I'm not done.
It's a great story.
Yeah, I'm done with the story. I'm not done collecting.
It's my third time hearing it, but I hear something every single time I hear the story. I hear something new, so I love hearing it.
Well, I got so many like hauls. Like there was I had to drive out to Mississippi one time to a thrift store. The lady was a Christian owned thrift store that she literally went to an estate sale, went up into the attic where there was nothing but trash, and lo and behold, in a box there sits 30 12-pack original 1977 unopened figures. Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader, Obi-Wan, Princess Leia, Tusken Raider, Jawa, Death Star Commander, you name it, they're there, every single one of them in multiples.
But there's so many variations of those figures.
Yeah,
right.
There are.
The hard part, right?
No, that's only if you're a collector of the variants.
Mm.
If you're a collector of, like, there's a lot of people that I only want made in Taiwan,
right?
Or I only want stickerless, or whatever. So
I need the different color hair on the Luke.
Oh yeah, the different color. There are literally like over 100 different Luke Skywalker original figures, variants, from the lightsaber to the hilt to the paint on his underside at the top of his legs. Is that painted or not? The color of his pants. Are his hands painted or not? I mean, it goes on and on and on. You want an expensive Luke Skywalker? Go find you an orange hair. Good luck with that. That'll be $4,000.
Is that a real thing?
Is that legit?
Oh yeah, that's legit.
Is it orange hair? Double telescoping orange haired?
Nope. They didn't make one.
Okay.
Regular telescope.
See, this is the thing you need to know.
Well, and I mean, so few people know what they're looking at most of the time also, right? Like that's the thing is you have to be a legit collector to know what you're looking at, where it's made. It's just like cars. Like you got to know, you got to look in this spot for rust, and you got to look at this thing, and you got to look at this engine code because that engine code sucks, right? It's the same thing. You know where to look, where the specific markers are, and how to spot a phony.
Yeah.
I mean, that's a huge part of collecting anything.
It's my favorite comment of the night that just came up.
Paint Luke's hair orange. I mean, but this is what I mean, it's garage sales, it's yard sales, right? I mean, some people 100%. Just don't know what they have when they're, I mean, this is the whole point of flipping before flipping was a thing, was finding something unique or something that somebody wants. And with Star Wars toys, that's a very deep rabbit hole you can dive into, right? I mean, that's legitimately one of the hardest places to find IP, as far as IP is going, to find certain toys,
I'm
right? Because
sharing
they're
my
so
screen with
old,
you.
It's
right?
funny to see too some of the sellers change. So for me, I've watched
That's
oh, there you go.
$4,000 easy.
Wow.
And if you find that on a card, I don't know if that exists on a card back.
I've never seen one.
And I've
But
had some pretty
then
rare
again, I've never
pieces
looked for
myself.
it.
Like I had, you know, the are you guys familiar with the Luke Imperial Gunner?
No.
All right. Not Imperial Gunner, I'm sorry. The Luke Gunner. Like when he's in the gunner
Falcon.
suit. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So they had that card back on an original Farm Boy Luke Skywalker. I don't like calling him Farm Boy, but that's just how that's the lingo that they use.
They do the same thing for Anakin. They call him peasant disguise Anakin. I'm like, that just doesn't sound good.
Yeah, I would be against that too. But anyways, I'm going to find the picture for you. And I'm proud of this. I kind of wish I still had it.
But what's different about his outfit in the gunner seat and
Nothing. It's the card back that's different.
it's the artwork.
And see, how important is that with collectibles, right? I mean,
the card is everything.
Card is the most important thing, right?
That's the thing everybody throws away.
Right.
So it's by far the paper is irreplaceable.
Yeah.
The toy itself has to be super rare to be valuable, and condition is everything, obviously.
Right.
And that's the thing about the, that I think that's interesting with the Black series that they've been doing is that you can't repack. I mean, you can, but you can't repack a card back figure. You can repack a Black series and put the tape back on it. You know what I mean? You can't repack a card back figure. Once you pop them out, you can't make it look good again unless you got some kind of an operation.
Yeah, there are people that do that, but they're clearly, you can tell.
Yeah.
Yep. So true.
Well, I want to show you guys.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
I want to show you guys, speaking of card backs, I want to show you this. Is my this is my little acquisition.
Yeah.
And it is like I said, this is something that I just picked up a couple days ago. And I'm curious to hear what you guys have to say.
Well, it's funny because you're going to get such different views between Coach and I, both being collectors, but oh no. Oh,
that's
boy.
Not going anywhere.
Watch me pour this sweet tea, y'all.
Both being collectors, but different era collectors. What that means to him is completely different to what that means to me. But it broaches both eras, which is the fun part.
Well, and I feel like
look, you go ahead and give your thoughts, X-Wing.
Please.
Like I want to hear them.
Okay, so for me, when I look at that card back, that inspires something from my childhood that is, you can't explain it. So I remember being 9 years old. Episode 1 is coming out, and when I tell you every Target, Toys R Us, like every store had an entire aisle that was themed as this Phantom Menace line with Darth Maul in the back. It was the red card back, and then they had the Comtech chips, and you could buy the communicator, and every figure you bought had a little saying that they would say. And so I had 900 of these stupid Comtech chips on like a little dog chain, and I could always pull my figures out and I would press it while my figure was standing there, and I was super excited. It's just something that really inspires that childlike joy in me, which is something that Coach feels with the Kenner line and something that I feel with that Phantom Menace line.
Yeah, I agree. I was 19. Was I 19? Yeah, Nick and I were 19, and we were we were probably your arch nemesis X-Wing, because we were the ones going up and down the toy aisle at Walmart when we were 19, and we were buying them all.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, that's
because
the
for
thing,
us,
though.
because here's the thing.
They had stock, though, and they kept stock.
They did. So this was the amazing thing for us, because I totally get what you're saying. And I think my story is very similar, because I grew up in a generation where it's exactly what you just said. The toy aisles, my mother would take me shopping, and she literally in 1984 would drop me off in the toy section and leave me there.
See ya.
That and she knew where I would be. You know, and I'm going to walk up and down each and every aisle multiple times. So, and you know, the world was a safer place, and you could do that back then. So, for years, you know, about 1986 ish, Star Wars figures weren't around anymore. And in the early 90s, it was the darkest years for Star Wars collecting. There was nothing. There was the stupid Star Wars Bendums, and there was the stupid Action Force little Star Wars statues. They were all horrible.
Like the new Mission Force that they have. They're just like, nobody wants this.
Nobody wanted that.
Yeah.
And in 1997, they come back out with the Power of the Force 2 line. Me and Nick were all over that, buddy, because Star Wars toys were back. Star Wars toys are back at Walmart. Are you freaking serious?
Hardbacks.
And I don't care if they're looking like He-Man. I'm buying them, and we're buying them all. So, and then, yep, there you go.
But
there you go.
It. Look at what it says. Dang it, it's not going to focus.
I think you've shown me this before.
What does it say? Can you read it?
Princess Leia and something that's not Han Solo.
Wicket the Ewok.
Okay, yeah. I love it. Yeah, never get rid of that. So, so there's a so that in and of itself is a variant. Like a lot of people get into those, you know, error cards. So, but anyways, I lost my train of thought. Oh, so they announced the Phantom Menace, and the Phantom Menace is coming out. And I don't know, you might have been too young, X-Wing, but the toys came out before the movie did.
Mm-hmm.
So we're sitting there looking at the toys like, oh my gosh, I don't know who the freak Darth Maul is, but that figure's badass. You know, like, and we're buying all these toys. We haven't even seen the movie yet. But when I see that toy, you know, here's the thing. I looked it up while X-Wing was talking a little bit. That toy by itself at this time sells for somewhere between $12 and $20 without any ink on it.
Yeah, you're talking about the R2 with the comm chip.
Yeah, but what you have can never be made again.
Yeah.
And that's something that's very special. Now, a lot of collectors are very anti having any piece autographed.
Right.
Not me.
Because they think it ruins it.
The card back. Right.
And you might want to ask the grading company before you send it.
Okay.
Because you don't want them to refuse it.
Okay.
Because it was autographed.
Right.
I don't know who you're planning on using, but I know the guys at Collecting Archive Services, Case.
Mm-hmm.
They're great. I would personally
cast.
Yeah, well, I call it Case, but anyways, it's okay. I also say Felicity Powbell. So
yeah. So the guys over at CAS.
Yeah, that's who I would go to personally.
Yeah, Cass is great. Sorry,
but yeah, there's a lot of people that would be anti that. But man, as a collector and as a lover of Star Wars, and that's one of the guys, that's an original cast member right there.
Yeah.
And he's gone.
He gone.
So that I don't care.
Well, and it's not a random sign either. It's not like Ahmad Best signed it or something.
Right. Exactly.
You know, this
That's
is
him.
pertinent. This is pertinent too. So,
yeah, I was pumped when we saw it. We went and picked it up at auction. We picked it up for sub $100, and we'll see what happens. I mean, really, I just like the fact that it's signed. I like the packaging is so it's still you can feel the tear ripples on the sides from where they were connected on the line and where they were cut. You can feel like the packaging's fantastic. So I'm excited to see what they have to say. I don't deal with a lot of collectibles. That's why I brought you guys on. You guys collect and collect and collect. And if it wasn't R2, I don't know if I would have gone as deep. That's one of my OG favorite cats. My OG favorite character.
All these guys fell off when I slammed the door to come in and start the stream. They all fell off my shelves.
But I definitely want to start, finding stuff that's valuable, even if it's just valuable to me, right? Kenny Baker's gone. There's never going to be another R2 for me inside of that machine. And that for me is just nostalgic. That for me just hits all the right notes at home.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And that's me as a collector. I think at some point this is going to evolve into there's going to be financial, not incentive, but there's going to be a monetary aspect to the stuff that I'm looking at. You know what I mean? It's going to evolve into that, but everything that I have in here has absolutely no monetary attachment to it. Minus 2 comics that are in here. Everything else is like, damn, I want that. That's cool.
Right.
Or that reminds me of this scene in this movie. Or like, I really want this here because it reminds me of that moment. You know what I mean?
Right.
Well, and it's not, that's another thing. It's not like a signed piece on a movie that didn't include R2, right? It's not, it's so appropriate because he was a big part of the Phantom Menace. And, it's amazing.
Yeah, that's the kind of piece that's going to increase in value over time, but that I would never get rid of that piece. Regretfully, I had a autographed Peter Mayhew Chewbacca from Power of the Force 2. And I wish I still had that. I don't have it anymore. I don't even remember. It's so long ago I got rid of it. I don't even remember what I did. I think, you know what? I gave it away. I gave it to somebody that loved Star Wars. It was like a young kid that really appreciated it. I don't even remember what kid it was, but I gave it to somebody. So this piece right here, it came out of a collection, and I sent the unopened Luke Gunner that you see there. And I sent that piece in to be graded, and it came back graded as a 90. So I was like, holy crap, you can't get higher than a 90. 90 is as high as it goes. And I looked it up because they have a registry.
Oh.
I had one of only 3 in the world that was known of Luke Gunners that was graded a 90 with a crystal clear bubble.
You could have retired on that.
Well, so I had a guy reach out to me, and I think I sold it for $3,000, which I could probably sell it for 10 or 15 today.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was probably the rarest piece that's ever come through my office right there.
Before, God forbid, the day he goes, this is the only figure that I want signed because I've had it for a while. This is my brother had it. It's the dismantled 3PO Power of the Force, but it comes with the slide of it's the little movie frame of Chewbacca carrying him through Bespin. Like, I just want this signed by Anthony Daniels so bad, man. It's still sitting here.
That's awesome. Well, hey, he's still working, so I think you're good.
I know.
Right. Yeah, and that's the thing is I
he shows up to ICC.
Oh, bro, I mean,
I'll pack the figure.
start stalking him, find him at a restaurant.
Hey, I'll tell you something really cool about ICC is Ken Simmons is going to be there. He is the original Kenner photographer. You see all the pictures of the toys and catalogs and like the art on the cover of boxes, like the AT-AT box. It shows the AT-AT with like the figures down at the bottom, and he's set up to play.
You
The
shot
Millennium
all that up.
Falcon box set. The guy that created all those dioramas and photographed them all, he will be there, and
That's cool.
he's got new stuff.
Oh, right.
What do you mean new stuff?
He's selling pictures.
Ooh.
And I'm not talking about just pictures. I'm talking about stuff you hang on your wall that's framed. Like,
I don't have any room on my wall.
I'm making room for that.
Oh, bro. If
God.
there's one thing I got, it's room for stuff on walls. That's for sure.
I think there's some things I could probably pull down to make room for that.
Yeah. And that's the thing is that, I mean, you're always going to purge, right? You're always going to move stuff. There's some stuff you're always going to keep forever. But, you know, sometimes you can't keep everything. It depends on where you are in life. But that seems to be, you know, the consensus about. I mean, I grew up with my brother had the Millennium Falcon foldable where you put all your people in.
The figure case.
Yep. I mean, that's the stuff we grew up on.
I only remember the Vader and the 3PO. I don't remember.
Or maybe it was the
Falcon
Vader.
case.
It was the Vader.
Yeah.
Was it the Falcon? I'm thinking of I think they did a Micro Machine or something like that.
They did have a Falcon Micro Machines.
I think that's what I was thinking of because I had that also. But he had the Vader where you could stuff all the Kenner dolls, and this was in 1984, 85. So, I mean, that's the stuff I grew up with. That's the Star Wars I grew up with. So for me, the action figure is a callback to that time in life. Like this little signed piece of this is probably I think that's the only one of its kind that I have. I have a whole bunch of other R2 stuff. I think that's the only actual figurine that I have.
Disgusting.
I think that's
you gotta step your game up, bro.
Hey, I'm working on it. I'm working on it. And there's a place in town here. There's a guy we're actually trying to set up a walk and talk with him at his place. But supposedly there's like one of the world largest collectors is here of Star Wars stuff.
Steve Sansweet?
I think so.
He's got the largest. He owns Rancho Obi-Wan. I don't know if he's going to be
that's
there
not
yet.
it. It's
Okay.
There's some guy here in Vegas that the toy stores deal with a lot, and he's got a very large collection. So we're gonna try to talk to him.
Freaking Nick Holness. X-Wing is jealous that I have 3 Master Replica lightsabers, especially my Sidious saber. Yes, I am jealous. And I gotta be honest with you, like most of the stuff, almost all of the stuff that I have in here, it's really not that expensive. There's just a lot of it.
All right.
There's
Here
just
you
a
go.
lot of stuff.
This is a few years ago.
Hit it.
Oh my goodness.
He's shaking. Did you forget to share audio? Oh no, I already hurt. I already hurt. Look at how well that's packaged
Oh
too.
my god!
Yeah.
Well,
In between. He took care.
Watch this.
Oh my god. Bam! First up. Oh my god. Look at that card back is. Oh my god. Oh my god. Coin too.
This was like better than any Christmas. This thing.
Dude.
So I took off work for this.
How many of them were coined?
So that's the Power of the Force lineup from 1985. Very rare. A bunch of them, dude.
oh my god!
There were hundreds.
And duplicates. Lots of duplicates.
Hundreds. And I had thousands of figures. Thousands came in this collection. I'm telling you, this collection by itself was worth over 100,000.
Oh my god. And you're touching it with your grubby hands.
I was just gonna say. Wow.
No, we don't have to go through the whole thing, but like it's all out there on the. Oh no!
No, I could sit there and watch that for.
Yeah,
Oh,
we could literally sit there and watch that all night. That's insane, and that's why I wanted you guys here because you guys are my collectible people, right?
I have a question for Coach.
Tee it up.
How do you feel about the 6-inch line, the Black Series? Completely uninterested? Yes.
No, I'm not going to say that. I don't have any, and so okay. So for a long time, I definitely considered myself a vintage snob.
Right.
I did not collect modern. I actually it's kind of like there was a time when I did not like the prequels. Okay.
Right.
When I didn't like the prequels, I refused to purchase anything that was not vintage. And vintage means older than 15 years, right? Not in Star Wars. In Star Wars, vintage is 77 to 85. Anything after 1985 is considered modern to a Star Wars collector.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So I watched this little show that a friend of mine begged me to watch, and I was reluctant, but I did it for him. It was called The Clone Wars.
I haven't
And
heard
when
of
I
it.
watched that show, guys, I absolutely fell in love with the prequels. And I
You need
saw
to-
them, my eyes were opened. And what George Lucas and Dave Filoni did for somebody that was as butthurt as me about the prequels, and now I can look on them and love them. So when that happened, then I started buying Clone Wars action figures and
And
Clone Wars.
are you still looking for that Ahsoka?
Oh yeah, I will have that Ahsoka. That's
I
going
know
in the
you will.
Terra Vault. That'll probably be the first thing I buy for the Terra Vault.
It's still in the back of my head when I'm browsing in the morning. I'm having my coffee and I'm looking for that Ahsoka.
Hey, I'll tell you what.
figure.
If you find it for $250 or less in good condition,
$250?
yeah,
You dreaming?
those days are gone, aren't they?
You're dreaming, dude.
See-
Less than 5 on a good day.
So that's what pisses me off, because a couple years ago, that was $100 piece.
Oh, easy.
$100 piece.
Oh, we
But
went through this.
especially now that they're re-releasing it. Good luck.
I know. And look,
Good luck.
and here's the thing: when her show comes out,
Oh, forget it.
it's
Oh,
over.
dude. Yeah.
Bro, I had a chance to buy a couple sets of Ahsoka lightsabers, Galaxy's Edge lightsabers, and I didn't pull the trigger, and the next month they went and discontinued them, and the value quadrupled.
Yeah.
Overnight.
Yep.
It's insane.
That
So,
figure
yeah.
that he's after, everything that's going to happen from here on out is going to compound Coach's frustration.
Oh my God,
because
yes.
It's going to get worse and worse and
It's gonna
worse
get
and
so
worse.
much worse.
Not only
So-
are they
but here's-
re-releasing
but
the
here's
figure,
thing. Here's the thing. You could find anything if you look long enough.
Yes.
So that's actually one of my rules as a collector, is to never pay full price for anything that I buy unless it's something that I absolutely have to have.
Yeah.
And that is very rare. I think in the last 10 years, the only thing I think that I've paid full price for was a vintage Mego Vincent from the Black Hole. I paid $150 for that piece because it was pristine and I had to have it. So I bought it. Normally, I'm not giving you more than 70% of its value. You know, I want to find that Ahsoka X-Wing. I'm going to find that Ahsoka in somebody selling a vintage collection, like what do they call that? The vintage collection.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to find somebody that's selling like 50 of them, and the Ahsoka's going to be in it. And I'm going to buy that collection, keep
Just
the
for that?
Ahsoka, keep the Anakin, keep the Rex, and who knows, maybe a couple others, and
No.
then let go of the rest.
No, that's not going to happen, because that Rex is another figure that's like, it's getting blown out of the water right now. Rex is another one that's just they're going to piece those out. I promise you, they're going to piece those out, because
No,
people-
most of the time you're right, but bro, there are.
I hope you're right.
I know I'm right.
But the
There-
VC stuff, because it's
There
so
are
prevalent,
ignorant sellers all over the place.
you're a predator.
I am.
Hey, you have to be though.
You have to
don't
swim
you?
with the sharks,
mean-
baby, if you're going to do
I know,
this.
I know. I respect it. I love
I
it.
mean,
Yeah.
I respect
I'm
it.
hunting right now for little things to flip always. And I mean, I got a browser open right now on an auction, right? Like I'm always hunting for something that I can, like you said, buy for myself, buy for value, or
Bro,
buy to flip.
Mhm.
you see what Nick said?
Yeah, I know. I saw that.
The above
No,
that,
this
the
one, yeah.
6-inch Clone Wars season 7 Ahsoka goes for $74.99 in
Wow.
UK. I have one. I'm
Wow.
gonna sell it right now. I already reviewed it. I'll
Don't
send you
sell
one.
it.
Yeah. And that's just it. And I mean, there's some stuff that I'm trying to buy to flip. If I can find,
Mhm.
stuff that's like the Black Series stuff
Great figure, by the way.
that I can pick up cheap and flip on and not gouge. Right? That's the hook for me is I don't want to gouge anybody.
See,
Well, the
there's a
weird thing. Go ahead.
Well, there's a lot of people that my bad, we are like linked. So there's a lot of people that I hate to say this, guys. Y'all know me well enough to I don't mean this in an ugly way. People die.
Mhm.
Some
Yes.
people just want to get rid of stuff.
That
Yeah.
that's what happens here a lot. I
Estate
guarantee
sales.
Yeah.
I guarantee that's where this little guy came from. I 100% know it
Yeah.
came from because we went
Somebody
to an
went to a
auction.
con.
We
and
went to
had
an
a
auction
time.
house to pick it
Yeah.
up, right? And that's where we find this stuff, right? Like
Mhm.
like I said, I'm always looking, but when I got sent that link, I'm like, oh yeah, just put my credit card information. I'm not yelling with you guys today. I was like, just put my
There it
credit card
is.
information in. Just go. I'm not. I don't even just pick a number, right? Let's look it up online and pick a number. And so we did some research. We saw a couple zeros behind a number for some of them that are going around, on eBay and other places. And I'm like, cool, this thing looks great. And I picked it up and it's got one little thing that I'm like, we'll see how they grade that. But aside from that, the packaging, the card back is perfect.
So
What?
you know how I'm going to get the Ahsoka X-wing. I'm going to tell you I'm going to do it.
Okay.
I'm
You're
going to
gonna
tell you
rob
how I'm going
somebody?
to do it. and
Coach
then-
gonna mask up and just.
So no. So I'm gonna get the
I got it for
Ahsoka.
less than 250. I told you, X-Wing. I
So
told you I was going to do it.
here's what's going to happen, X-wing. I am going to find one day a lot of GI Joes for $150, and I'm going to sell them for $800.
Oh,
and-
you're gonna flip up to it.
And then I'm going to go, hey, I want that Ahsoka. What did I get that Ahsoka for? $150. That's what I got it for.
Right. Because that's your original investment.
That's my investment.
Right.
That $800 is nothing. That's
It's
not
like
my money.
it's like being at the casino. At some point, it's somebody else's money. You're playing with the house's money, right? And
right.
as long as you
Didn't
can,
cost me nothing but $150.
and if you can set your limit and threshold, then there you go. I mean,
So
that's
my collection question to Coach would be: we've had these vintage collection releases before, right? But they were branded as Clone Wars, everything that we had. Do you think this is a rebirth of the Kenner line for the next generation of collectors? And so if you can get these original releases, hold on to them and then try to resell?
I think that the vintage collection Clone Wars era stuff is going to do nothing but go up. Like it's just now starting. We're at the point now in collectibles where 80s collectibles is now reached the point where it's ridiculous. Like you can't
they're
even
holy
hardly
grails.
you can't yeah. A couple
Yeah.
years ago they were hot. They were smoking hot. They're above whatever that is now. They're inferno. 90s is next. But early 2000 Star Wars stuff, especially Clone Wars era stuff, it's always going to have value. It's always going to demand it, and it's always going to be going up.
My mind
And
is
those
so
early vintage
blown.
collection stuff, the early vintage collection stuff. Now, look, I don't have the expertise in that line like I do vintage, but I know what the Ahsoka's worth, and now
It's
I know
still
what the
blowing
Rex
my
is
mind
worth.
that the Phantom Menace collection is selling for original price, if not cheaper. The TPM stuff is dirt cheap. And
So
even
is-
Attack of the Clone stuff is dirt cheap. The Revenge of the Sith stuff has taken an upturn. And I think, I don't know if that's because of the memeability on the internet or whatever's going on, but
The Power of the
Revenge
Force
of the Sith
2
stuff
stuff.
is selling. But
Power of the Force
TPM
2
and
is-
Attack of the Clones
yeah.
is dirt cheap.
I don't know if anybody in the chat is writing any of this down. They're giving you guys just pearls of information here.
Go to, dude, I've said this, I don't know how many times on my channel. Go to Order 66 Toys on Facebook.
Yeah, I've
Okay.
met those guys. They're great guys.
They're awesome dudes. On Fridays, they have a Friday sale and they are
Yeah.
selling Power of the Force 2, Phantom Menace, Attack
Yeah.
of the Clones. They're selling vehicles. They're selling Legacy Collection figs, everything. They're selling all that stuff. And you're never paying more than $30 for a figure. And that's if it's rare for that time. And you can still buy figs. You can still buy
Yeah.
vehicles. I just bought a Legacy Collection TIE Fighter for $35.
So they know a friend of mine, Seth Hastings, that used to own Plastic Galaxy toy store in Oklahoma. He does the same thing they do. Live auctions. It's actually not an auction. It's like, hey, I'm selling this Luke Jedi.
Yeah, you just have to claim it fast
75
enough that
bucks.
you get it.
You claim it first, it's yours.
Yeah.
You know. Really good stuff there.
Just order 66 toys on Facebook. It's amazing. I'm trying to partner with them. If you could put in a good word, I'd love it.
They don't care what I say.
Oh. Well, Josh and I talk on Messenger every once in a while. He was like, "Well, I'd love it if you could do something." And then he was like, "Hit me up after the first of the year." And I hit him up after the first of the year. I'm like, "Hey, what do you want to do?"
The funniest story about
I didn't hear anything from him. I'm like,
I was at a toy convention with Nick, and they were there, and they had all these great vintage pieces, man. And Nick is like picking this one out, picking this one out, picking this one out. He's got a stack of original Kenner vintage Star Wars, and he's like wanting to buy it. And he looks at the Order 66 guy. I know Nick ain't got no money.
Yeah.
Okay. So I'm actually in pain watching this. I am embarrassed watching Nick go through this. And Nick was like, all right, so how much for all this? And the guy looks at him and says, well, you tell me how much. He says, you pretty much know what they're worth.
He's like, $80.
And Nick was like, Nick offered him something like so low. It was like embarrassing. And then the guy was like, "Oh no, I can't do that. You know better than that."
That must have been Josh.
And Nick starts putting them all back. And I'm sitting there going, "Oh my goodness, it's so funny."
Ladage, is the N1 Starfighter going up in price? Because
I'm sure it will.
There's no doubt it will.
I'd love to sell it.
And that's what Mando and them are doing. Things are going up. I love it. That's part of this whole thing. You know, so many people got it all wrong, I think, like with me and Nick. You know, we've been critical about some stuff, and we're not crazy about some stuff. But God dog, we're having fun and we love it, and we're so glad that it's here. You know, and I'm just glad that we're even talking about it, you know, and I can't wait for Wednesday. So
I mean, aside from,
by the way, is Ahsoka going to show up in Chapter 6, guys?
Did you see Han Solo got credited on IMDb?
Well, I did a video earlier about that also. I kind of hope that it's just a carbonite scene and there's no lines. It's just a Boba delivering Han to Jabba or Bib, and it's no lines, so he can't mess with any.
It would make Kira fit in nicely,
right?
Yeah, because he didn't actually deliver Han. He didn't actually deliver Han.
Exactly. That's my exact situation. And could that be the double cross that we hear about from Bib? Did he actually, right? You know what I mean? Like there's some pearls in there, man. I did a video on it today. I was like, I hope it's maybe, you know, him pushing him in carbonite or Han in carbonite, but not actually Han with lines. I really dig that idea. And I pushed that out there today in a flashback. Yeah, in a flashback. Yes, we were talking about this.
There's actually a really cool scene from the War of the Bounty Hunters where Kira is auctioning off Han Solo, right? And Jabba's trying to buy him. Prince Yzor is trying to buy him. Everybody's all about it. Dr. Aphra's in the background, and Vader walks in, and he's like, "Solo is mine," and everybody's like, "Ooh, shit." I'm like, man, wouldn't that be cool if we even got Vader for just like a second?
Yeah, it would.
I mean, that would set the. I mean, how fun would it be to see?
He doesn't even have to kill everybody. Like he just shows up for a second.
Just Hayden in the suit at an auction, and then he just turns around and leaves. In the background, whatever, it doesn't matter.
The casuals would lose the muggles would be like, that doesn't make sense.
My God, the Muggles would lose their mind because
That
they've never
doesn't make
seen it.
sense.
Yeah, but I mean,
I'm so
that's-
glad you taught me that word. Like the way
Oh,
you
bro,
use it.
that's
I
my
love
word
it.
for everything that
I
they
use it
don't
now. It's
understand.
mine too.
I love it. I'm glad I could impart it onto others because we use it all the time in my life. But yeah, I mean, for me, that's the scene. I think it would be best if if Harrison did a scene or was credited with the scene because his image was used in the Carbonite. Maybe he doesn't have any lines. Maybe it's a Luke thing from Force Awakens.
One way to save money.
One way to save money, one way to bring him in and get that legacy character everybody wants to see, but they can't mess it up with a cheesy, horrible scene. And then
Laney
it's just
hit it on the
Boba,
head, though.
you know, and then it's just Boba with Kira interaction, and then the auction. Maybe there's just a lot of open room, and I'm kind of hoping that they just give us something like that. So
Can I use my soundboard? You gave it to me.
yeah, go ahead.
I'm
Go
just
ahead.
gonna use
I
it.
encourage it. Go ahead.
I just want Boba to see Han and Han to be like, surprise, mother.
I like it.
And like from behind, like, who's your daddy? I am Boba Fett. So yeah, I mean,
Thank you,
that's I'm looking forward to this Wednesday. I'm looking forward to things moving forward, but I know that the things that are happening now are affecting the toy market, are affecting the collectibles in general. And I mean, look at all the Grogu stuff, right? I mean, look at that stuff is real popular.
That's the death of collecting right now. Okay, so this is an interesting topic that I want to broach. Okay, people are hyped on Star Wars. Okay, but we're not getting the hype back up in the collecting that I want to see. We're getting a lot of new merch in the Grogu sector and in the Mando sector, but we're not seeing a hype of a lot of the, oh gosh, how do you say it? There is a hype in the legacy characters because, like you were saying, Coach, a lot of the vintage era Clone Wars stuff is getting a lot of love. But okay, I can't help myself. I want to see some more prequel love. Okay, Clone Wars is getting a lot of love, the show, but we're not getting a lot of prequel hype. I'm trying to see some Phantom Menace.
Clone
Attack
Wars
of the
is
Clones
prequel.
hype.
I mean, yeah, Clone Wars is prequel. That's in between 2 and 3. That's all the same.
It's not the same though. Like,
Look
it's
at
not the same.
share. You got to share that screen.
We brought you back. Oh,
Look at that.
Dr. Seuss.
So watch. You watch me. Watch me work. Watch me work. Okay.
That's actually not that bad, dude.
I was gonna say
$25,000.
$25,000. Yeah, sold.
Yep.
Oh, where's my gavel?
Oh, you are a Sleemo. You freaking Sleemo.
Oh. That was amazing.
He's all, watch me work. Shut down.
Watch me work.
No, you said under 250. Don't send that offer.
Oh, that's fantastic.
I'd buy it for 300.
You said under 250.
I'd buy it for 300.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Walking
That's
back on him.
fantastic. You see, this is how you do it. Sometimes you got to pull at those heartstrings, you know?
Oh,
That-
there's no doubt.
You know what I have been getting into? So I'm a sideshow boy. I love the sideshow collectibles. I think they are just like they are top tier, right? Beautiful, beautiful replicas. I found a Japanese line. I didn't know about it because I have no one to talk to about collectibles. Kotobukiya. Have you heard of Kotobukiya?
Yeah, they're like a really high quality knockoff of Sideshow, but
Yes.
they're really, really good.
Yeah, and they're super inexpensive. Look at this. Look at this 501st I got. Okay.
Why
So
do you
a
assume that I don't watch your content?
I'll burn.
God, I love you. So I haven't made a video on it yet, Coach. So you're lying.
Well, then you did it in a live stream because I know I saw you talking about it.
So the sideshow.
It might have
Rex-
been when you said, "Why does Coach keep calling you Felicity Powbell? It's Poobell." And I'm going, motherfucker. He could have told me that shit a long time ago.
This guy creeps on me. He's creeping on me. So the sideshow 501st, right? You can buy the deluxe edition. It's $350. And granted, you get a lot with that $350, right? You get the jetpack, you get the gun, you get the Ahsoka 332nd helmet with it, which is something that's almost irreplaceable. But for $85 right now on Mercari, you can get this. Here, let me pull it up. Hold on, I'm gonna get it for you. I'm gonna get this.
I thought he was giving us a screen. I was like, oh, let me get it up there.
So while he's doing that, that's one of the things that I'm wanting to do is with I'm already saying with my Terra Vault that I don't have yet. I'm wanting to buy some sideshow collectibles. Like I'm not going to go crazy, but I'm going to get 5 or 6. See, that's awesome. I love it. Yeah, I saw you talking about this on the live stream.
Yeah, so you're not going to get
so good
all of the bells and whistles with it, but you're still going to get. I mean, this is a 12, 14-inch 501st.
That's amazing, dude.
It's got weight to it,
and it doesn't cost $400.
Yeah, it's $85, and you still get a very nice, very well made. And like I said, this is weighted. The weathering on this thing is beautiful. I mean, I'm gonna break them.
And you're gonna break something else on this stream.
It's a really nice piece. So there are alternatives.
Debbie, I would never sell the Razor Crest ever. I'm sure it's a lot of money. I've never asked you how much that thing cost. I don't even want to know. But I love you.
I bought one.
Did I show you guys the Razor Crest? Did you see that Debbie got?
Yes, I remember that. Yeah, I bought one of the VC, the HasLab Razor Crest. I bought one from Santa. It's going to be here soon. But you want to see something cool? Check this out, dude. So, Star Wars Santa?
Yeah, I love him. He's been on our show a few times.
He's a wonderful human being. He's
such a nice guy. He's got such a great story, man.
Yeah, he's a good dude. He has been complaining nonstop that Hasbro.
Hold on. That Hasbro has not made. I heard you talking about this too.
Oh my God, he does watch my content.
Oh gosh. What?
I mean, not attentively.
It's a figure that they haven't made.
Mm-hmm.
I cannot remember.
I'm relishing in this.
But you found somebody in Europe or somewhere that makes it's the dadgum thing that they ride. Mando and
what's that dadgum thing?
The blurg. Yeah.
The blurg. Yeah.
Yeah. That thing looks amazing, dude.
Isn't it gorgeous?
I can't believe it.
So the thing is,
how could you make a bunch of those? Like, I couldn't imagine how much time that would take.
There's a new movement kind of in the collecting community where people are really starting to make customs. And the problem is 3D printing up till now has been rough, ugly. It takes a lot of sanding. It takes a lot of post work to make something what it is. This guy, I don't know what he does or what kind of software he has or what, but he pops out a blurg. Perfect. Ready for paint. Ready to go. So yeah. I mean, it cost me, $125, but he's going to have a 3.75 blurg.
I love it.
So he can finally have his blurg.
And he doesn't know that you're doing that.
No.
Well, unless
but as much as you talk about it,
I know it's got to be out there.
He doesn't watch it. Keep it secret. What are you talking about? He's busy making presents for all the young kids.
I love people just assume that other people aren't watching, and I'm like, It happens all the time. I'll be in Paul the Star Wars guys. They start talking about Echo Base or something. I'm like, what? Like, I'm here.
No, I would say like 95% of my watch time is Theory for sure. He's been watching everything I do.
Oh yeah, he's your best client.
I sent him an email today.
That guy hates me so much, dude.
I think you're reading too much into it.
Probably.
I
don't think about it.
I honestly think he's a nice guy. I like him. I like him.
I hope
he has to put up with an enormous amount of crap.
I couldn't imagine having that many followers. I have like 1.2 1,000. And I have weekly therapy sessions where people in my community are arguing, and I have to arbiter. Like, nah, come on, everything's fine.
Well, you two guys, of all the people in the world right now, you saw what happened to me and Nick last week.
Hey, we
We were talking about that.
we-
You guys got all mad, and people were like, "Bro,
I wasn't mad.
X-Wing
He
and
was mad.
obsession? Are X-Wing and obsession okay?" I'm like, "Bro, we do this
yeah, this
every
is
day.
daily. Yeah,
Yeah.
this is every day.
Nick
We
was
love each other."
dropping F-bombs, cussing. If you want to run the effing stream.
Oh, it was great.
And
It
I
was
was
great.
like,
I was looking at X-Wing. I was like, I guess mom and dad are fighting. Let's just take over, right?
So listen,
It was
he
great.
texted me the next day. I didn't talk to him. He texted me the next day and he said something about, he sent me a screenshot of something that he got done that was good. I don't even remember what it was. And I replied, I said, good job and fuck you.
People forget that the people behind the camera are like real people too.
Well,
Yeah.
We're
and
actual
on top of
humans.
that, the best thing, and if you learn nothing from today in this and Coach's origin story, is these two have known each other forever,
Oh yeah.
It
right?
feels like we've known each other forever.
and they literally have known each other forever. And so you're always going to fight with your buddies. Your buddies know how to push
Oh,
your
if y'all could
buttons
see
more
it
than
off
anybody.
camera about the
Yes.
show, about what we're doing. We've gotten into so many arguments
Yeah.
about
And
Echo Base. Like,
and
but
that's
what
you
makes
just
it
got
go.
a taste, right? That's what I mean, is like
Yeah.
that was just like a moment in time
Little
of
blip.
a 40-year friendship, a
Mhm.
35, 40-year friendship. That's what happens. And the fact that you guys get on stream the next couple days and do it all over again is exactly
Oh,
what it is,
well,
and
that's something that we
It's like
men.
Siegfried and Roy.
I hate to say it, but we men can get into a knockdown, drag out fist
Oh,
fight.
yeah. 100%.
And the next day we're best friends again.
Next day, 15 minutes later,
That's-
you're grabbing a beer.
exactly,
Like, "Damn, we beat
exactly.
the shit out of each other, didn't we?"
Girls will hold a grudge for decades.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna tell you straight up. I hold grudges to the death. I can't lie.
He's very feminine that way.
I am very feminine that way. If that's what women do, count me in, because I can hold them to the death, just straight
I
to
hear you.
the deathbed. Somebody came up, do you forgive me? If it's my last word, I'd be like, no, fuck you.
I grew up my dad's way, man. It was
Oh.
like, if somebody doesn't get along with me, I don't like him, or whatever the deal is, I'm like, delete.
Yeah, and that's
Moving on.
Yeah, that's me at this point. X-Wing is going to throw his slave wanted obsession, right? I mean,
Well,
he dropped it hard the other day. I'm just glad
it fell off
fixed.
the table. It was a moment of severe
hard.
panic. And now, I don't know if you can tell, but look at the stabilizers on the Slave 1. See how one's got a lazy eye?
That'd be me, right here.
The stabilizer on the
Just-
Slave 1. One has a
Okay.
lazy eye.
On the right side, yeah. You broke it. You broke it. Well, guys, I have had probably the best Friday night stream. I've had so much fun.
This was a blast.
Just talking toys, just showing you some stuff, just seeing some stuff. I'm excited I got you both here on the same night. Glad X-Wing drove in hyperspace to get here.
I was driving so fast.
You
dude.
were, because you're like, oh, I did poof, and like you were gone, and then you were here. I was like, holy.
And I'm in a Sprinter van. I was doing
I
like
know.
95 in a Sprinter van.
The wind resistance alone.
It's hard to fight.
But no, I'm super excited. I always enjoy talking collectibles and hearing what
Let's do this more often. This was I need this,
Bro,
because Nick doesn't collect anymore, and because he's a fag. I really can't stand him.
go ahead and just highlight.
Like
one of those.
honestly, I'm getting ready for me and Nick to part ways. Like
Mhm.
it's just too much now.
Yeah.
I'm only saying that because I know he's
Yeah, right.
here.
Um,
I
Coach
love you,
wants a young
man.
buck now.
But
You
no,
better watch out, Nick. I'm coming.
and
He doesn't collect like he used to. Like so me and Nick, guys, we need to do this one night. We need to do this. Me and Nick would sit here and cycle through eBay together
Mhm.
at night, and other sites that I can't say out loud right now
Mhm.
to give
Pornhub.
other. I can't tip everybody in the world. I'll tell
right,
you
right.
guys.
You can't divulge all your
I
secrets.
can't give all the
No,
secrets.
no.
But me and Nick would sit here and look and search and search and search. And we're searching for it all, man. We're searching for Star Wars, Transformers, G.I. Joe, Voltron, He-Man, you name it. We're searching for it. We're finding it. And the name of the toy game is to go and create. It's kind of like those fishermen that have like 15 poles in the water.
Yeah.
That's how you toy hunt. You create the most amount of opportunities you can for yourself, and somebody's going to buy it. That's it.
Yeah. Well, just like you did today.
God damn, we are twins. Look at that. We said that at the same
It's-
time.
You threw out a line here on the live stream, and you showed one of your tricks. You pulled at the heartstrings, right? And trying to get that deal. Sometimes that's what you got to do. And that's I mean, I'm like I said, I'm still on a site right now. I'm looking at something that's going for an absorbent amount of money less than it goes for. I'm always looking. So yeah, let's do more of this. I enjoy talking collectibles because you guys know what you're looking for, and then you can tell us you could tell more people what you're looking for.
Why do I not do any collecting content on my channel?
Bro, you should, because you guys collect a lot.
We used to. It just never really went well.
Yeah, no, people don't watch my collecting videos.
Literally, I would have 57 views. I loved making it.
And I think that's what it should be about.
I got a light box and a product rotator. I was like, damn, I'm ready for this.
Well, and I think there's a certain group of people that want to see it, and I think it might do well over the long term, especially now that some new stuff is coming out. There new shows.
Look at, like Justin's collection. I think people basically have like Justin's collection, and they're like, yeah, I'm good there. I'm not going anywhere else.
Well, but I mean, now with these characters getting some rebirth, some characters showing up in live action, some, for the first time since some of these animated characters that have never been in live action, I think there's just going to be more opportunity for collectors to buy new stuff also, right? And then maybe that triggers, like what we're doing for Coach. We're kind of triggering that voice in the back of his head that he's forgetting about sometimes. And that's what I enjoy, is that we can all just sit here and talk toys and talk collectibles. It doesn't have to be Star Wars all the time.
Plastic. I freaking love my plastic, man.
Yeah, I'm buying a Teravolt very soon. It's happening. See, my wife's putting this pressure on me. She's like, why don't you buy us a new TV stand and all this stuff?
Nah, you don't need it.
And I'm like, I want a Teravolt, and I did just buy the arcade, and I'm just missing right there.
Coach, we just did.
And I want to make it like a ceremony, like when I open the Teravolt and put something inside forever.
I'm gonna ruin your life right now, Coach. We just did a meetup for a lot of basically people on the West Coast. So there were like 6 of us, but we did a meetup because I was up in Portland, Oregon, and we went to a pinball hall. I think it was called Pinball Unlimited. And it was, like you say, floor to ceiling, all the way across, every line you could think of Star Wars. They had every single figure mint pressed up against the glass. I mean, it was disgusting. And
you are coming to the ICCC, right?
I'm trying really hard.
You got to come. One of the biggest Star Wars collectors in the world's he's running the whole thing. It's going to be
I don't want to be there. But it's a grand for 2 days. It's tough.
A grand for 2 days?
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Flights, hotel.
I told you, I'm just going to grab an RV. I'll just come swoop up.
Get an Airbnb and stay with 3 other EBNers.
I'll pick you up. We'll drive out there, get an Airbnb.
I lose more money not working and driving across the country with you than I do just buying the plane ticket and flying out there.
Well, hey, then we'll just have to make it happen.
But the point I was trying to make, Coach, this is going to ruin your life. So they have all the vintage pinball machines for each movie, and then they make custom pinball machines to whatever you want. It could be Return of the Jedi. It could be any one you want. And when you're playing, they actually have a big, imagine like a drivetrain with a weight on it. So if something happens, the whole pinball machine shakes as you're playing it. And then there's an LCD screen in the front of it with 2 big bass speakers.
Oh, man.
So as you're playing it, dude, the thing shakes and does all kinds of crazy stuff. Oh,
I love that.
I'll send you the link to it, man. It was, and this pinball hall, it was $20. You play all night. Everything is open, and they had a massive arcade with it too.
God, I miss arcades, man.
Oh my god, it was
Oh, I
beautiful.
miss them so bad.
It was beautiful. So we all
That's
got
my
to meet
next.
up and
That's
hang out.
actually one of my next purchases is before the Terravault. I'm probably going to buy the Tron arcade one up
Oh,
to go right there next to it, because that's something I have wanted the Tron arcade for over 10 years at least. I remember playing that in 1983 in the theater to see Tron. Like, oh,
that's so funny you say that. We have the same thing with remember the old Pac-Man machines in Pizza
yeah.
Huts?
I gotta tear
Oh,
the ears
yeah.
off of
Sit
Gundark.
down
I'll
ones.
be right back.
Those were our like we want one so bad. Like
Mhm.
I want one so bad. I can't say I want one so bad. It's such a nostalgic piece for me that the low bar ones where you put your beer on and
Oh,
it's a
yeah, the
two-player.
tabletop ones where you
Yeah,
sit
the
down?
two-player.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
the one I'm just like, wow, I can't wait to get my hands on one of those one day. There's no way I'm ever going to be able to put it in my house. I'm going to have have that in the garage with me, but I've always
Yeah.
wanted one. It's so hard to find that classic stuff like that Tron machine. I'm sure it's not easy to come across either. I'm sure you have to
Well,
hunt.
the arcade one up just came out, so now's the
good.
time. That's why I'm like, I gotta buy it now because they might not ever make it again.
Right.
And arcade one up runs in seasons. So when the season ends and they're out, it ain't coming back.
Right.
So I've got to go buy it. It's going to be one of my next purchases. So
I'm excited. I'm excited that I'm excited the passion for collecting is still burning in you.
oh yeah, I got it.
Right. And I know X-Wing's got the bug because literally every week he's got 14 packages on his door. Granted, he does give away a lot of that stuff to his community, trivia nights and stuff like that. But yeah, I know he's got the bug. I enjoy finding stuff that you just can't find anymore. Signed stuff, anything like that. It's hard to come by, and it makes me happy that you guys are still so into it, especially after so many years, right? I mean, the fact that you've done this roller coaster 2 or 3 times, that you've been on the ups and the downs and the ups and the downs, and you're still on the hunt, that's passion, right? And that's what we need more of in Star Wars. We need more of that excitement about these things. It's okay to act like a little kid sometimes.
You know who
when
I
we're
feel
excited.
bad for right now? Everybody that's stocked up on Boba Fett stuff.
Why?
It's not over yet.
I don't think it's gonna sell very well.
Depends on what stuff you're talking about, because the vintage stuff, man, it's ungodly.
Not that. I'm talking about all of the new re-armored Boba Fett stuff. Somebody
All
bought,
right, so
6 of the Black
Oh.
Series 6-inch re-armored Boba
did you see
Fetts.
the retro collection?
Yep.
$9.99 on Amazon.
It's a retro collection re-armored Boba, and I don't like it because it's got the saggy pants and everything on it.
I canceled my order.
I bet you did.
I did, and it's 100% because I'm sorry, the show's just average for me at this point.
Yeah.
I love the character, and I always will, and I'm waiting, but
earlier this morning I was watching Santa and Meg, and a lot of people have been calling Boba Fett Beta Fett, and I don't think that's fair.
I don't.
But what she said was spot on. She called him pseudo Boba. He's just kind of pseudo Boba. He's not Beta Fett, but he's just kind of pseudo Boba.
Well, and it's definitely not good. I was having this conversation a couple times today. It's definitely not good when you have a show named The Book of Boba Fett and you only hear the name Book of Boba Fett in the 5th chapter. Oh,
did you like that line?
I do.
Look, the card back is awesome, but the figures piss me off.
That's why I can't open it. I can't open it because the card back is so freaking awesome.
The card backs are sweet for those, but we call them Skittles figs.
Yeah. I mean, I get it.
I don't like the figs, but the card backs are.
That's just for X-Wing,
dude.
Yeah, I love it.
Jake Fett.
So this is actually a gift. Connor Fuller, one of our members, sent this to
Nice.
me all the way from Ireland.
Nice. That's cool.
So
I'm
Yeah, and
stoked for 6. I'm stoked for 6. I'm interested
think-
to see what happens. They put themselves in a real bind.
Yeah.
Showing Din being the way he is, you can't put Boba next to Din now and have him be the same he was in 1, 2, 3, 4.
all right. So with Filoni directing,
That's
odds
my
Ahsoka shows up.
I mean, that's a pretty good assumption, but I'm going to say no. I just think that he is getting as much directorial experience before Ahsoka as he can, because I think he's going to try to take that all the way home himself.
So let me ask you guys this, because y'all could help me with this better. Because I am not a Clone Wars or Rebels expert. I enjoy the series. I love the Clone Wars, but I am not an expert. So there's no way that Luke can help Din with the Darksaber. Am I right?
I mean,
You could.
if they're not going to go into that in Boba for sure, but I think back in Mando season 3, I think the fact that something was made for Grogu specifically, I think Din is going to try to find Luke and Grogu, and that could be the saber training. I could see it happening. I could see them do it because they did hint that he wants to find him.
I would I mean, like Kanan did the same thing for Sabine. I don't know why Luke couldn't do it for them. Like Kanan helped Sabine. There's no way that Luke couldn't help. It's
like the whole stretch out with your feelings kind of thing.
Yeah, you don't want to fight the Darksaber.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like, and I really love the way they illustrated it in this iteration of the Darksaber, right? They made that thing look like it weighed 1,000 pounds.
They did.
Dragging it on the floor. Even Paz was like a muscle-headed.
That was my favorite scene when Paz
humongous, when he's literally trying to lift a boat.
What are you doing?
Himself, right?
Shut up, coach.
So for me,
gonna get us to shut down here.
Yeah, but I think that, I mean, he looked like he was about to blow an O-ring. I mean, let's be real, just trying to pick it up, and I think that goes back to what Hawks and I have been talking about, is that I'm hoping they're going to start bringing some symbiotic nature to the Kyber itself, right? I think that's a very we were talking about it the other day with the Harry Potter references. The wand chooses the wizard, the crystal chooses the user. And with the Darksaber, it took Sabine a minute for her to understand it and be able to use it properly to defeat. And she didn't even really use that saber, to be honest. She used Ezra's saber. So she trained with it for a minute and got a little proficient at a boy. But she really didn't wield the Darksaber in combat against Pre Vizsla, right? So that I think is the big thing there, is that he had wielded it before and she was using Ezra's saber, so we had never really seen it be used.
So I realized after maybe the second or third episode, there was an episode, I think it was chapter 3.
Coach, can I interrupt you real quick?
Sure.
Just a real quick thing. Just letting you know, I'm side watching the Order 66 live stream right now as this is going on. There's a dewback, original Power of the Force 2 dewback with a sand trooper on the back, loose, for $15.
It's not worth that.
To you?
$8. Probably cost them $1.
Message them real quick. Be like, bro, you overpriced.
They're not going to partner with you.
What are you doing? There's a Thrawn with that's overpriced. Loose
but
Thrawn
I just want to
with
say
Calamari for 50.
What
75
what this
now,
show
actually.
has done for me has made me go back to Clone Wars after having not watched it for 7 or 8 years now. And I'm going back through it because I want to have a better understanding and idea of what I'm seeing in the Book of Boba Fett. And it just so happens that I really enjoy the Clone Wars, so that's a good thing, and because when certain lore things happen that I forgot that whole part about the Darksaber being hard to wield and all that, everything Sabine went through. Guys, I hadn't seen that since that show aired.
Yeah.
So that was gone from my
I asked the
nearly
same thing. I'm
boomer
like, why
mind.
is he struggling with it? He's
Well,
like,
and-
they're like, you don't remember Sabine? I'm like, oh my
Well,
god,
Well,
well,
I mean,
you didn't say that in a video. I did.
no, I did on live stream. I said it on the
Okay.
watch party.
Well, people are like, "What the hell's wrong with you, Coach? This is Echo-based network. How could you not know that?"
Well, and it seems like that. I mean, if you went all the way back to Clone Wars and saw all of the Death Watch stuff with Pre Vizsla and the Darksaber, the
I'm not there
original
yet,
stuff,
but oh yeah, I saw it.
and then you get into the Maul stuff later, and the Maul stuff is really what has me hyped, because that's the sect of Mandalorians that were loyal to Maul, that got banished when the rebellion, or when the clones showed up. They got banished to the moon and then proceed to the Empire taking over and yada yada. But the fact that those are Maul loyalists, I mean, you could see it in her helmet, but it's really tweaking a really awesome part of Star Wars that goes back to Rebels that I'm really digging, because that's the stuff that is just hitting on all cylinders.
And Rebels doesn't get enough love.
Oh no.
Well, I'm going to go back through Rebels as well after I finish Clone Wars.
But the storytelling, see, here's the thing: for what we're seeing now in the Mandoverse, the Rebels stories mean more.
Yeah.
The only story that means more in Clone Wars is the story and the fall of Bo-Katan. That's the only story. Like, you can go all the way back to see she was part of Death Watch.
Tweeted off today.
And what's that? Yeah,
you see what Katie Sackhoff put out today?
Yeah, I saw it too.
But it looked, and
but
it looks
but
like
the pikes and the spice and all that from season 7,
right?
That's a factor too.
None of us are even thinking about the pikes in Book of Boba Fett.
I'm thinking about the pikes.
I mean,
that's like,
we got to see that in the next episode. Like,
we're all thinking about all the cool stuff with Din Djarin and the Darksaber and Katie Sackhoff. Is it like, what happened to the Book of Boba Fett? It's gone from our minds, vaporized.
And somebody brought up a good point, because it's Dave Filoni. Could we see a Bo-Katan appearance because she got talked to about so much?
Easily. Yeah. Maybe this sets up the
her versus
inevitable
the
conflict with the armor.
Well, I mean, her maybe Din, she, because her goal is to get back to Mandalore.
Still not Boba Fett though,
right?
It has nothing to do with Boba Fett, so far as we know.
But this is what I've been saying. This could be the unification of the Mandalorian flags finally, right? So, I mean, this could be.
I gotta ask: are we gonna get a Book of Boba Fett season 2?
I think you have to.
Guaranteed. If they can't close it off in the next 2 episodes, which I doubt they will.
I don't think so.
But this is this kind of writing that drives me nuts. Well, we'll find out in season 2. No, you need to do it now and then leave us.
Would it shock you if they didn't continue it and he was just a side character?
No, it wouldn't shock me at all. If I mean, look, dude, this could be a story of.
I wouldn't be shocked.
This could be a story of failure. Right, that's something that I've been trying to get out here in the metaverse. This could be a story of failure, and then
like the other legacy character that they.
No. I'm not done yet. This could be the story of failure, to where he realizes this is not the world for me, and joins the other Mandalorians. Right, this could be the lead up to him becoming part of Bo's group, part of Din's permanent group, because now we know Din Djarin has to go back to Mandalore to regain his respect for himself.
It's true.
And now we know Bo is already on that. So I think maybe at the end of this, he may realize that the family he was looking for, he had already met. And that he just needs to just say the words, I am Mandalorian.
So
and then
before
boom.
you get mad and cuss me out about this, okay.
Oh boy.
Doesn't that essentially render this entire show completely useless?
No, because you've gotten a lot of background into what this character thinks. Because again, even in Mando, he only got so many lines and we only got so much of backstory. We didn't get anything about how he became this version of himself.
Right. I am actually going to agree with that wholeheartedly. Whether the show's average or great or whatever you want to call it, the fans demanded to know how he survived Return of the Jedi.
Yeah,
we know
exactly. Exactly. I think that
So
was
are we
the
gonna get a
largest
Max Rebo show?
I hope so. I like. Hey, look, if they can make an episode of
I'm
a
gonna do an
lightsaber,
obsession.
The
a
fans want to
lightsaber
know.
turning.
We want to know.
If they can,
I'd rather
if
have
they
an
can make-
Ula show, if you know what I mean.
if they can make a show, you bastard, about. I totally lost my train of thought when you started yelling. I was like, "Oh, he's
I
doing
got
it!
you.
He's doing it!" And I just
got you,
totally
man.
derailed me. But I could see them showing this as a story of how he became part of the Mandalorians and helped Din gain his own respect back by going in the lakes of the mines. So we know that Bo's already trying to get back there or has been back there. So
Is she
maybe
getting her own show, Obsession?
Oh yeah, I think so. I think you give
Ula?
as much.
You think so?
Can. Yeah, I think if you give as much
Sorry.
lore as the Armorer just did
Mm-hmm.
with her, like literally, you drop you are the curse of Mandalore.
You know what's so ironic
Bro.
about that, man, is that.
Bro,
But here's the irony: you got 4 Mandoverse shows going on. 3 of them are Mandalorians.
I know,
Like,
I know.
what?
But then
Can
the other
Luke
two
get
are
his own show,
Jedi.
please, God?
I just feel like this is the new approach, right? Mandalorians are the new Force users of the Star Wars universe, and I think Disney is
I
going
don't
to
think
run
so.
full tilt into these.
I don't think so.
You don't think so?
No,
I disagree, but I see as it sits right now, 100% you're right.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to stay that way, especially when Ahsoka shows up. They're
but there are
really going to
so
shine the light
few
on
Force users left in the universe at this point, and that's
Mhm.
the hard part. Is you have Cal Kestis, you have Ahsoka, Luke,
Ezra.
Grogu, and Ben Solo, and Ezra. There's
Ezra?
only that's six. That's 6 across the
Could be
entire
Mace.
galaxy that we know of, right? That survived.
That's my boy.
So there's a lot of there's not a lot of Jedi out there, and they have to build these stories up to bring the Jedi back in the fold. Right now, the Mandalorians are the ones with the real story at this
Yeah.
time in the galaxy.
Well, and
Because-
the other thing is, at some point, the New Republic has to get involved,
Exactly.
Well, they already are.
and that's
right?
and you know what? It's really going to feel like Star Wars then.
Yeah.
I mean, it'll be Star Wars on a
T-65Ds
whole nother
flying
level.
everywhere. We got
Well, and we're
Y-wings.
gonna have to
we
see
got
them
Mon
because
Calamari
if
cruisers.
the armor alluded to, well, we'll see if they execute Moff Gideon, right? Like that line there showed me we're gonna get some New Republic stuff in the
Mhm.
next Mandalorian because they have to show some of this stuff that they alluded to in this episode. For the future is huge. For Book of Boba Fett, it sucks because it made him look even more limp than before. And I hate to use that vernacular, but it just made him look like a flat, like Harry Potter's arm when it breaks. It's just like, oh, there's
Oh
no
my
bone,
God! Yeah.
right? Like it's
After
just
they give him the bone repair.
yeah, it's just
Yeah.
like, can you just have him go on a tirade and kill some mother effers already? Just, I want to watch him kill an entire room full of pikes by himself. I want to
Wednesday.
jappy stick through one of them. I want him to break out his blast. I want him to shoot his blaster.
Well, you know what,
Just
guys?
shoot it.
No matter where it goes, whether I think it's great, average,
Oh.
terrible, or wherever, every time I go to Walmart, I always go to the toy aisle.
Oh, always.
Me too.
Every
Always,
time.
always.
My fiance is like, "Hey, we're gonna go grab some groceries." Like, cool. I'll meet you by the butter. I'll be there in a minute.
Got to support that. Yep.
Yep. No,
And so, hey,
we're the
me and my
same way.
wife I was on the toy aisle, and my wife came to get me, and one of her high school friends came walking by, and she was like, "Oh, what are y'all doing? Are y'all looking for something for like your niece or your
Yeah.
nephew or something?" And
Yeah, my nephew.
yeah, me.
I have done that like 6 or 7 times. You're like, "What are you looking for?" I'm like, dude, my nephew's super into Star Wars. I don't really know what to get." And they're like, "Well, you can buy this 6-inch Lando." I'm like, he probably wouldn't like that. I don't think he'd
Oh,
like
see,
that.
you pretend. I don't. I'm that dude with the Lego minifigs that's like feeling the package
Oh
to
yeah.
feel which one it is. Like I have no shame. It's all for me. I'm a 40-year-old child. It's okay.
There you go. I
Well,
like it.
okay, so actually, Obsession, can I announce it? I feel like I've
Yeah.
announced it already, and I may have
Announce whatever you want.
forgotten. But I was emailing Mark Anthony Austin this morning. We were talking about, because I want to get him back on the show because he was a Boba Fett. And he, Lucasfilm guy. I was like, I'd love to have you back on. Let's talk next week. He's like, I'm super down. And then episode 5 comes out. And I'm like, do you maybe want to wait until the end of Boba Fett so that we don't say something uncouth that is undone by the finale? He's like, I think that's a good idea. I'm like, okay, all right, we'll talk after the show's over.
I did
2 more
something very
weeks.
similar, X-Wing. My toy collector friend, Michael Havens, that runs the ICCCC and the Imperial Commissary,
Mm-hmm.
he is personal friends with Daniel Logan.
Oh,
And he's trying to get Daniel Logan on the show for me.
Oh,
dude, why don't we combine powers?
How often
get
have you ever
Mark
seen
Anthony
Daniel
Austin
Logan do a
and-
Star Wars interview?
Never.
right. Never.
You
They
don't
get him
see-
in for signings because I was
Yeah.
just at the Star Wars store.
He
in
will be at a
Portland.
con. You're right. Yeah.
Yeah, I got him when I was at the Star Wars store in Portland. It showed them under an Easy Up, and they were together signing Boba Fett helmets for the store up there.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of an interview, like, not much.
Yeah. Well,
I
we're
I
trying.
hope it happens. I hope both of yours happen. I'm excited.
And I know I'll get an invite, so I appreciate that. Thank you so much, Coach. Really
we'll
do.
see.
I appreciate that. I'm pretty excited.
Nick handles all that. I just
Oh,
create
if
the
it's Nick, it's
possibilities.
easy, man.
I'm the fisherman. That's it.
You're the one I got to cajole.
All right.
All right,
guys.
kids.
I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, we've had you guys here almost 2 hours. I have had
Seriously?
probably one of the best. Yeah, it's 100 minutes.
Oh my God.
I've had.
This is how
one of the
much
best
tea I've
times.
had.
Yeah, he's had a lot of tea. So everybody, I'm sure, has to rip the ears off of Gundar. I know that I've had a great time. I think we should do this more often.
Let's do it.
If you guys have a chance, maybe once a month, we should get together and talk toys and talk collectibles and go on a
Let's
hunt.
go.
Whatever you guys have time for, I am down. Let me know what day you guys have, and we can make it happen. But this has been a joy for me to have the two of the biggest collectors I know in my personal sphere in the same place, talking toys, just geeking out for an hour and a half about everything. So I've had such a good time. Thank you so much. Go down, and if you're not, which again, if you're in this stream and you're living under a rock, the EBN link is down below in the description. Of course, you know my sidekick in crime. So yeah, get out there. Oh, he's putting that helmet looks dope. Everybody's been saying it all night. That helmet looks great.
That is really nice.
I'm digging that.
Nick got me the Stormtrooper helmet back there.
I love it. I love that you guys have this stuff laying around. That you
Hey,
can
I
just
don't
throw
know
on.
what everybody's got going on, but me and Nick are about to do a gaming stream
Cool.
over on EBN. So
I'll put it on in my background.
It'll be there.
All
We'll be there.
right.
But everybody have a great night. Thank you guys so much for coming on. I am so jazzed. This has been a true joy for me. Please get down there and subscribe to both these guys if you haven't already. And we'll talk soon enough. Thank you guys so
we'll do
much.
it next month.
Next month. Thank you. Be safe, guys. Take care. Have
See
a
you,
great
everybody.
night. And may the force be with you.